Oh, look at real nice. Hey, guys. Thank you for you guys who are watching the replay. And thank you for you guys who are here already. Robin with Garden State So-and-so. Jerry and Susan from Butler Family Farm. Kieran Gadielsi. Lori with It All Adds Up. Simply Good. Tammy with Mountain Grandma. Hello. Today we're going to do the 20 prepper question challenge. I was challenged by Bushcraft Family, and Heather said she wanted to do this. Hello, Teresa. Jakowitz. Is it Jukowitz?
It's Jukowitz.
Yeah. So Tammy and Lisa did this challenge together on their live. So Heather asked me if I would.
Jerry and Susan out there, if you're out there.
So we decided to do it. So we printed the questions. Hello, Penny Ortiz. So what did you do today, Heather? Anything special?
I ran and I got one of those electric sealers.
Oh, that's neat.
For jars to seal. So that's pretty cool. You know, like for dried goods.
One of those, but I never have.
And then I had something that I had to go to the post office and mail something out, and I did a video at a grocery store.
I got like 1 million seeds in the mail today.
Hold on, I have to smack my husband.
Okay. I know my husband comes in sometimes, and I just like, oh my gosh.
He was trying to do goofy dancing behind the screen. I'm calling him out.
That's funny. Cool. Yeah, it'd be cool if you could just like all of a sudden turn the camera and he's over there. My husband did that at the meetup. He was dancing up on the table, you know, just like goofy dancing, right? And I did that. I turned the camera around on him. So in the middle of the live at Pinecone Fest, he's dancing on the table somewhere, you know, just being a goofball. Hello, Ariella. Hello, Stace.
Good morning, Ariella.
Haven't seen you for a while, Stace. How you doing?
Ariella's in Australia, so it's morning. I was telling my husband because he doesn't know.
Oh, yes. Well, I could wait till Wednesday. I'm going to announce this again on Wednesday, but I'm going to announce it here too because it's super news. So I started with my health journey January 1st officially, but kind of sort of really December 26th, like right after Christmas. So today I did my first weigh-in at the end of January. So that was I'm calling that my beginning of the year weigh-in. And today I weighed and I lost 6 pounds. So I'm really excited about that.
Awesome.
I have noticed like this t-shirt right here, this Billy Joel t-shirt, used to be a little bit tight and it kind of kept getting pushed to the back of the closet because I was like, oh, it's tight. It looks terrible. Can't wear that shirt. And I have another one, like a camo one with a V-neck, and I put that one on the other day and it was loose, you know, it wasn't so tight. And I was like, okay, yeah, I think this is finally happening. And it's at the perfect time, guys, because I admit I was getting a little bit discouraged. Thank you, Tammy. Thank you. My hair was really dirty from gardening, so I had to get in there and wash it. And then I figured, well, if I'm washing it, I might as well chi it too. And while I was doing that, I was talking to my mentoree on the phone, answering her questions because I told her she is to write down her questions for me. And so she asked me questions. Sometimes they'll be just like, who's hosting this collab or whatever. And I recommended the editing program that I use, you know, and it was so funny when she asked me, she's like, well, how much do you charge for your mentoree program? I said, it's free. I said, I just like helping people. That's just how I am. So yeah. I thought that was funny. And then she asked me if she could send me some dwarf tomato seeds, and I said, sure, I'll grow those. So I will
Yeah,
be
that's cool.
tomatoes this year. I had to make myself an iced coffee because I was starting to get drowsy. I was on here and I was starting to get a little bit drowsy. So thank you guys. I couldn't wait until Wednesday to tell that news. But if you're here on Wednesday, I'm probably going to say it again. So I'm so sorry for that. But I'm excited about it.
Yeah,
You know,
that's good.
I remember the first time I put on my house coat when it was bigger. I was excited. I have a pair of pants. I've been cleaning out my stepdaughter's room because she's 21 and I'm moving her. Her bedroom is going to become my ministry room, and the little craft room is going to become a guest room. And so I'm in the middle of moving all that stuff, and so I've been going through all of her stuff. Oh, did you email me today? Awesome. Okay, I'll check that out, Tammy. Cool deal. Yeah, need to make a little, yeah, I'll check that out. Heather asked me earlier about a certain email. I was like, oh, I haven't gotten that. I haven't looked at my email today. I was gardening. I tried to walk at the park, but it was too windy because it's really windy here. It was like 31 miles per hour wind. I know other places probably even more. Last week it turned over my picnic table, and hubby's not gone out there to turn it back over, so it's still laying that way. And my brand new arches I got for the garden were laying flat on the ground. And this morning he got up and dug them deeper into the ground. I guess he got up early. So, and I looked out earlier and the wind didn't take them down this time. So I'm really happy about that. So I got my IBG seeds today from the seed swap. I'm so excited. Oh,
That's nice. Nice.
yeah.
So if you guys haven't joined in on the IBG seed swap, it's Indiana Backyard Gardener, and she does a phenomenal job on trying to make sure that she gets the seeds that you're looking
We'll have
for.
to get in on it for next year. But if you see any of those videos come up, I think my video is going to post on Wednesday. I had to move videos around to fit it in because I have a walking challenge going on right now, and then all these gardening things. So I'm literally like packed with videos, which is very unusual. I'm taping things ahead and having to schedule it out. It's crazy, but I moved a video around so I could add the IBG seed swap. It unfortunately is too late to get into it for this year, but if you watch the videos and you like it, you know, you could try to catch that for next year. But literally, you ask for like 5 seeds on your wish list and she sends you 30. I didn't count the seeds, but I'm gonna guess there's 30, 40 seeds there. It's crazy.
I know. I'm supposed to be getting
One
mine.
kind of onion, and you get 5 kinds of onion. You ask for 1 kind of tomatoes, you get 10 kinds of tomatoes. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. So
Yeah. So should we get started?
yeah, I actually dropped mine. Let me pick them up real quick.
So what we are doing is we're going to go over a list from Good Bushcraft Family. It's a prepper list of things to evaluate and question yourself. Where are you at on these questions? And it doesn't mean if you don't or you haven't, you can't. So just just some ideas.
Some things to think about. There's just some things to think about. There's some areas on here I know where I need to work. And I'm going to be honest with you and tell you what those are.
I haven't read the list myself. I listened to Mountain Grandma and Lisa at Yogi Hollow Farm do theirs, but I don't remember. So
Yeah, they were kind of clumping them together, so it's probably not going to sound exactly the same anyway. But
yeah.
So number 1 says, and this one hits me, boom, right between the eyes on the very first question. Where are all of your fire extinguishers located? That's an area where I need some work.
So I know exactly where mine are located, and I check them like every 6 months. I don't know if I'm supposed to check them more often, but I had my own preschool childcare, and I had to, for my certification, have fire extinguishers in certain areas, and it just became a habit because I did it for so long. So there's that. Number one. So where are your fire extinguishers, and do you have one?
Mine are still at the store. There's the honest God truth.
Yeah, and not having them in all one like
We don't
location.
we have one in the camper, but I mean, we need some. But the good thing about the questions are they're reminding you where you need things. Hello, John, hunting and
Yeah,
stuff. With
yeah,
you. That's
yeah.
why I said the very first question, like boom, right here. But some of these questions I'm doing way better on. It just happened to start where I'm lacking. But the next question is, where's your bug out bag? Well, mine is in the closet.
Is that easy for you to get to in a hurry?
Yes,
Right.
depending. I
So
am.
that's actually one question that was on another live some months back, and I recommended that either you have a bag or a bucket um, with somebody who's elderly, maybe somebody who's pregnant, somebody who has disabilities, maybe having certain extra locations of a bag or a bucket, like near the front door, near the bedroom, near like
No, I need for mine to be right by the front door, but right now it's not a possibility. Once we
right,
get all the things done in the house and moved around to where the coats are clumped right there at the front door, I think at that time I can move it near the front door where it will be more accessible as you're leaving.
right.
Uh,
Well, so
the,
with this, having one bug out bag is excellent. But like the things that I said before, if somebody's, pregnant, elderly, disabled, or whatever, and you have
Kids should have their
multiple,
own backpack. Take
yeah,
an old backpack from a year, like they get a new backpack every year. Use their old backpack and load it with things that they would specifically need: medicines, extra shoes, socks, maybe a stuffed animal, whatever will bring them comfort.
yeah,
Maybe some snacks if it could be something that, you could leave for a while.
yeah.
It ask when. So my husband also has a bug out bag. Mine is more traditional bug out bag type stuff. Okay. His is more like hunting, fishing, weaponry, uh, that
More of that stuff.
ish kind of stuff like that, which is very much useful too. So he would go grab his, I would grab mine. The goal is to eventually get it by the front door, but that's after we get everything moved around. It says, can you remember when you last updated your bug out bag? Well, actually, Heather and I did a live, what was it, 3 months ago, where I showed everything in my bug out bag. And I did do a couple of updates to it. So that was about 3 months ago. So I have a better answer on number 3 than on number 1. So I'm not lacking everywhere, just some places. And do you have you updated your bug out bag, or do you have one?
I don't have one.
Okay. We need a video, Heather, of you making a bug out bag.
I don't. I have a bag and I have all the things. I just don't want to leave.
Well, like
It's
I
just
said,
good to have one in the car for sure.
if a tree falls on your house or your house blows away or somebody burns it down and you happen to get out or burn up your whole property, I mean, where you have to leave. Literally, they're bombing Texas, but they're not bombing Mississippi or whatever. You
Well,
make
on that sense, I know where there's stuff. Like my husband has one in the trunk of his car. I know different places on my property where there's things
I
that.
have a few items in the car, like first aid type items. I do have that. I have some first aid type items in the car. Let's see. Number 4. Who else in your house or near you knows about your bug out plan? I would say just my husband. Our daughters are grown and out of the house now, so it's just between me and my husband. We probably do need to talk about like a longer, maybe like they talk. I listened to someone's video. It was one of the emergency videos, and someone said, I think it was Christine from Mrs. Gillen Farm. She said the whole family needs to know the plan, even the ones who aren't there, because if we're in Texas and the danger is in Texas and we need to go to, I used Mississippi as an example because it's a fairly close state. You say our case would probably be Montana because we have sister-in-law there and that's far away. However, you still have to have a way to get from here to there. So
yeah, you should definitely have a plan A, B, and C, maybe even D of places where you want to meet up, whether it's a tree out in the front yard or the park nearby or a neighbor's house or a relative's house, like, and everybody know, okay, so if like say something happens and I go to the tree and nobody's at the tree, then I go to plan B, which is the next location, and everybody know if I'm not at the tree, they would go to the next location.
yeah,
So
I think that's good. Plan A, B, C, D. Yeah.
mhm.
And go through it. You want to have, I think a good thing that was said on that emergency video is you need to have a place you can meet outside of your house in town. So it could be Abilene, where the rest of my family is. It could be a neighboring state. We could meet at Simply Jan Homestead. It could be just wherever is not right here in my particular state.
Yeah.
The next one. Okay. How would you defend your home against an intruder? Well, I don't know how well you know me, but there's probably about 5 or 6 pew-pews in this house. And that deer hanging on the wall is mine. I'm the one that got it. So I know how
I'm
to use
just going to leave the how would I defend my home against an intruder? Well, FAFO.
Okay, you'll have to explain that to me later.
Yep. If you know, you know. If you don't, you'll soon learn.
Okay. All righty. How would you protect your home against an immediate natural disaster? I put down a bug out bag for each member of your household. Have a meeting now when you're not in a disaster about where you're going to meet. Maybe even have a drill. Somebody talked about that in one of the emergency videos too, about having a drill for your family with your grandchildren, the little ones, the older ones, all the ages, where everybody knows what the plan is, where you're going, what you're doing, what everybody's grabbing, all that stuff.
Ariel was laughing at my comment on the last one. It's true.
You must understand what you mean.
I'll let you.
So Butler Family Farm is having a giveaway for 3 cans shy on Wednesday of this week. Not on the regular live on Monday, but on Wednesday the 19th. So if you want to go, 5 p.m. Central Standard Time.
And that's right after our Healthy Goals Wednesday.
No, it would be right before.
Is it right
before? Okay. We're at 5. We're at 6 Central. That's at 5 Central. So he probably said that an hour early, so he would be done in time.
Okay, so that's the same day, so you get a 2 for 1.
Yeah, 2 things on one day. All right. So the next one, number 7, is: do you know what type of natural elements threaten your home and family daily? I would say very immediately, like right now, we have these huge trees that could just like crash down our roof. So in our case, I think one thing would be we need to have prepped up some tarps, for that. But also tornadoes. We could get hit by tornadoes. We could get hit by floods. Literally, the way the world's going right now, almost anybody can be hit by any of those things. So I think I don't think you can predict what you can't predict. You can't know. I can say right now the trees, the most immediate danger, because today is really high winds. And I was outside and I was like, okay, I don't think I should be out here anymore. And I went inside. I actually ran a couple of errands. I came back and I stayed in the house the rest of the day because I was like, number one, I don't need all that stuff blowing in, my allergies, making my allergies worse. And I don't want to have a tree limb on my head or
So
whatever.
for us in the Pacific Northwest, it's the big one, the big earthquake that's supposed to come. So I was born and raised most of my life in Alaska. So at school we had a lot of earthquake drills and things like that. But a big one, I don't know. But I would recommend, no matter what the issue could be, of having, if you can, stashes of extra clothing, extra water, extra stuff. Like even if you have to bury like a waterproof type thing in different locations, so you have some items other than in just your house.
That's a good idea. Even like we have a house and we have a shed, a full shed. If that shed was converted properly, you could technically live in there. If something went down with our house, more than likely, we would have to convert that shed to live in for.
Yeah, and if
So
you
really, what we ought to do is we ought to have something out there. And out there, I would say bug-proof, rat-proof, that kind of thing. You would want to have it in a tote, maybe with some bricks on top of it. And we have a bunch of shelves in there because flooding is also another danger. We don't have like a full-blown running creek next to our house, but we do have a creek bed where when it rains, it flows in front of our house and to the side of our house where that creek is. So I don't think people know that. I don't know if everybody here has seen those videos, but when it starts to raining really hard around here, I put on my rain boots and raincoat and all the things, and I go outside and I video that creek, and I'm watching the creek level. And that's why we had all the work done on our house, was to keep that
from
water
flooding
out of the house. Yeah. So we had a porch put in, like a wheelchair ramp because his uncle was in a wheelchair. We had a cement area put in right in front of the living room because we were getting water in there when he first put that in. Also on the side of the house where I put my tomato bed, that bed right there, that actually is a flood barrier. That was put there as a flooding barrier.
to slow it down. Yeah.
And so it just happened to be we're using it for a flood barrier, but we're also using it for a garden planter. So
yeah.
And that's my tomato bed where I put hi Bob. Where I put my tomatoes every year.
So the next
question.
one.
Go ahead.
Do you want to read the next one or do you want me to?
No, you go ahead. You go ahead.
Okay, so could you suppress a fire without the fire department's help? So what kind of things can you put in place, maybe not to put the fire out, but maybe to help keep it down, possibly, until hopefully help can arrive? So
I can be honest with you, I'm not real confident on that one. What would you suggest?
I would suggest having like a rock border around your home. That can slow the fire down. Also, it keeps fleas and stuff from getting into your home, having rocks versus like mulch and stuff like that around your home. Some people do rocks on the outside border of their yard, and it just kind of slows it down. Having hoses and buckets, having buckets so you can maybe scoop out of if you have water troughs, or somebody comes with like a container of water, or you have some kind of a thing that you store water and you can.
I have buckets I use for gardening that have handles.
Yeah.
That I plug from one area of the yard to the other, stuff like that.
You just do what you can, right? you know, there's all kinds of like different things that you could probably purchase and have, you know, available, but in a quickness, you may
I'm
not.
not real confident on that one. I'd certainly give it a shot. I'd certainly try. I wouldn't just sit there and watch it burn. That's
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
sure. But
Yeah. And
yeah, I'm not
shovels
real
can help.
confident on that. Shovels, ooh, shovel. Me and shovels.
Yeah, you need more shovels.
No, what I really need is to find my gardening hoe because it's missing. How do you lose a gardening hoe in your yard? I don't know. I know that I've done that.
I know how I lose gardening stuff because I leave it
Leave it. Yeah, that's why I have 4 of those trowel tools and the hori hori knife. I have tools all over the yard
That's
because
why we go to garage sales and get more.
but I don't want to put my hori hori knife
Yeah,
outside and
thank
leave
you.
it there because I don't want to mess it up. So I leave that one in the utility room. So if I need that, I come in and get it and I put it back because I don't want to mess it. I mean, it's new. I just got it. Are you confident you can survive up to 3 weeks without power? Yes, I can. This one I can do because I have multiple things that I can do that with. I have lamps and flashlights and candles. I mean, I have an old-fashioned oil lamp. I have tons of matches. We have grills and burners and all the things. We have
Yeah,
all that.
how can you cook your food? How can you have clean potable water or potable water? How can you stay dry
We
or
also watch a lot of survival shows, so I'm pretty sure we could do a pretty decent job um
good job.
of preserving our water, of filtering our water. I think we could do
Yeah.
that. That question I am confident on. And I know there's enough food here.
Okay, this next question, I feel like we can all say, yeah, because what did they do to us 4 years ago? Are you confident you could survive up to 3 weeks without being able to leave your home or your bug in or out place?
Yes.
Yep. I mean,
Yeah.
come on, 4 years ago, what were we supposed to do? Did we? But anyways,
You
so
aren't
that's
supposed to
something
leave
to
the
think
house.
about.
I was actually pretty okay with that.
I was. I just gardened
I was
and
pretty okay with that. I mean, I have YouTube for socializing and company,
hi,
and
Nancy.
hubby comes home every night, so I'm by myself. I'm doing my thing during the day, cleaning, organizing, gardening, cooking, running errands, whatever. I'm doing my thing. But yeah, I mean,
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
have enough. Not to mention, if all this stuff runs out, I still have a whole ministry closet worth of stuff. I mean, I don't want to use that stuff, but if you're stuck in your house and you have to, that's a different story. You know, I don't want to use that stuff, but it's there.
I've got plenty of stuff that I can do that it will never, I don't even know how long it would be
I
to
need to
finish.
check. I do need to check my preps though. I remember I was listening to Lori. She was doing a video, Lori from It All Adds Up, and she was talking about having her buckets
No,
of
that's weird, Nancy. Sorry.
pasta. But I remember a long time ago I made those up, and I kind of need to go through and check my preps and make sure, you know, they're okay.
Yeah, yeah. And everybody's
Have it,
circumstances,
have it
everybody's
there.
area, everybody's situation, everybody's needs are all
I'm
going to be a
actually
little bit
cleaning
different.
out that area of the house. So I'm actually going to check my preps then. I decided when I got to those in the area I'm cleaning that I'm going to check my preps at that time.
That's a
But yeah,
good idea.
I could totally stay at my house for a long time. I mean, I
Yeah.
could make do.
The
If I run
important
out of water, I
thing,
can always have tea. You
right?
can
The
always
important
use rainwater.
Gail, you talk a lot. But that's good. It's good though. You got stuff to talk about. It's awesome. But the
Yeah.
important thing to remember is that you're continuing to learn more skills, learn how to do those skills that you're learning, and keep trying to be active on a daily basis of moving forward. right?
Right. Hi, Carol.
You want to go for the next one?
Let's see. Number 11. I had to write that one on the back because it didn't print right. Are you counting on anyone else for your survival? I would say mostly no. If hubby was not here, I could figure things out for myself. I can do that. I'm smart enough to do that. I may not do it very well or very eloquently, but it will get done. Like, say if he's at work and he has to try to get home to me, I can figure it out. I mean, I can do light. I can cook food. I can do stuff. I know how to do stuff.
Right.
I
That's
think I can make it. It won't be fun, and it won't be eloquent, but I can. Yeah, I think I can get it done.
Yeah, I think that's a good question to ask yourselves, if you could, and how long can you, and at what point do you need to go to plan B, whatever that may look like for you, right?
Yeah.
It's a good one. Very good one.
How
Does
do you keep
anyone else count on you for their survival?
I would say my pets.
Mhm. Yeah.
Other than my pets, no one, because my husband and I depend on each other some, the partnership, but pets mostly.
Okay,
Because
by
if one of
chance,
us got took out by a pastor, the other one would be okay in this house. Because whichever one of us was alive could live off of what is in this house.
Right.
One
And
of
that's
us would go. Yeah.
I think, and also everybody who lives in your home, or even if they're traveling to get to your home, say other family members or whatever, that they know where. So say you get sick and you're stuck in bed and there's a disaster or whatever, and one of your daughters has to try to get to you and it takes a while. Do they know where to find whatever it is that they need when they get to you? If you couldn't tell them, because like say you had a fever and you were sleeping or whatever.
We actually have it's the weirdest thing of all. It's very weird. This is very weird. But we have we have those shelves where you can put those cloth type drawers in, right? You know what I'm talking about? And we have those in the living room. And they all have stuff in them, but they look neat because they're,
organized within.
organized. Yeah, because you can't see the mess that's within, right? So, but one of those has medicine, gauze, all the things. And so everybody knows where that's at. So it's a weird place.
That's good. That's good though.
But
right?
That's where we have it, because usually when you realize you have a backache or you're sick, you're usually in the living room or the bedroom. So I don't know.
Yeah,
That's my way of thinking. I know most people put that in the kitchen, but when I'm sick, I don't spend any time in the kitchen. I'm either in the
for me, I
on
mean,
the couch.
I feel like my family could survive without me.
Hubby might take a little while before he finds things, but once he does, he'll be like, dang, she got this house
It might
stocked
be
up.
hard and sad, but they can do it. But
Yeah. Hi, Nancy. He'll be like, I didn't realize she had all this crammed in here. That's what he's going to say. Oh my goodness.
Animals would be sad and miss me.
Yeah.
So, what's the next one? Oh.
Are you willing to salvage supplies around you? So I'm guessing this one's referring to a martial law, crazy, no grocery store kind of thing. All right. So I've just started the process because our internet is still working right now and we're not in the middle of anything. I've started trying to say when hubby doesn't mow the lawn for a while and the weeds are kind of getting up, every time I see something, I put it in the Google Lens and I look it up so I know what it is and if it's edible. so that if something happened, I know what weeds in my yard I can eat without dying.
Yep, having the books for your area of
Wild lettuce, we have
yeah,
wild onion, we have shepherd's paw, I think that's what it's called. All kinds of stuff in our yard that's
yeah.
totally
So that's one thing. If you can't buy a book for your area, start looking online and writing it down. I don't know, printing it out, taking photos of things and getting used to what it is that you could add to food you already have, or if you don't have food, what could you get by on foraging or
you may not have exactly what you want here,
Mhm.
but you'll have something.
Yeah.
Especially since there's plenty of cookbooks to tell you how to make things from scratch. And there's no not I would say there's a very limited amount of processed food because I'm trying to eat healthy and those are the things that are not good for you. So you're going to have to go in there and make your own bread. You're going to have to go in there and make your own cake. You're going to have to go in there and grind your own whatever, but the things are here for all that to be done. You're going to at least eat beans and pasta. There's going to
Yep.
be something
Yep.
to eat.
And then with Gail's luck, it would be mushrooms and liver
And asparagus.
and fermented foods.
Lobster, shrimp.
Ham.
Yeah. Hi, Ginger. Yeah, so I think I could probably forage. I've just now started to try to learn. Instead of asking people, what is this? I started looking it up every time I see something in my yard when hubby hasn't mowed, because right now it needs to be mowed. So today I looked at a couple of the weeds. I try to remember it. And then, so if something happens, I know what in my yard I can eat. Because you're not going to be out there mowing your yard if you're in the middle of martial law and
Well,
things.
and also,
You're not going to have gas to be doing that. So your yard is going to grow up things that you can eat, but you need to know which ones are safe to eat.
but also for that
Start looking at
question,
it.
what happens if a tree, okay, so it's utter chaos, whatever. You can't go anywhere, nothing's open, there's no way to get anything, whatever. You're stuck at home. And a tree puts a big, huge hole in your roof. Can you salvage some supplies around the neighborhood or in your yard to patch the hole?
Start pulling some gardening beds apart.
Or what if your fencing gets broke and you can't go buy new fencing? Do you have extra
wood and things like that?
screws, staples, nails, gun, hammers? I wasn't talking about that. I was talking about anywho. You know,
supplies at your house, basically.
I'm talking about hole punchers.
Huh?
I wasn't talking about hole punchers. Yeah, metal fencing, zip ties, string, rope.
Are you prepared to eat squirrel, possum, skunk, birds? Because that might be your cuisine. So you better have some Worcestershire sauce or some soy sauce
I
or
wouldn't eat
ketchup or something to put on it, because that's not going to be fun. So you better stocked up some seasonings for that, because it's not going to be a very good.
Squirrels mostly eat like seeds and nuts. Possum and raccoons eat everything, and coyote, no.
But if you have to,
it depends on the birds. It depends what time of the season it is.
But if you have to, because there's no grocery store and the world's gone crazy and half the people are dead, and you have to.
And I wouldn't eat rats because those are gross and dirty.
Yeah, that would probably be last resort, maybe.
I don't think you would survive on those. I think they'd kill you with all their
stuff. Yeah, probably, maybe. I don't know. But
Don't.
possums and raccoons. Well, raccoons will eat chickens. I know this for a fact because I had a raccoon kill 4 of
They
my
get
chickens.
into garbage. They'll eat anything that's the. I don't
Yeah,
care about that kind of meat.
yeah, but
That
that's the thing.
plant matter.
That's part of salvaging in nature is you have to kill the animal that's available. So you might have to eat squirrels and in our yard it would be squirrels, possums, skunks, raccoons. That would be and birds. That would be our 5 because you're not going out in the country. You're not going to get deer and elk where I'm at. You're not. I'm a city person. I have to get the 5 things available to me. Now you may have more choices. You
We
may
have
get
everything. We have
deer,
deer,
elk, bear,
we have bear,
lion.
we
I
have
don't know what you got out there, but
cougar, and
yeah,
we have
you got more choices. But here, where we're at, we're going to have to choose from our 5 choices. Our 5 choices aren't going to be as good in the city as in the country. So I may have to eat some of the
and
extra.
learning how to capture the animals that you need to capture in more than one way, because one way it might break, or you might run out of
We have
things.
live cages.
Yeah, that's kind of a bad
We
thing.
actually have cages to catch live animals live, which you could actually kill them in there if you needed to eat them. But
Well,
yeah,
the good thing about Jerry's comment is that I've got people living around me that watch. So
we have beef to eat. Yeah, you have beef to eat.
well,
I
that
may not have such good of choices. I
well,
can't go
see,
out and hey, now I could start with my chickens, my own chickens first, but they will eventually be gone.
but you gotta think about this. So
That
those
only lasts
animals
2 meals.
need to be watered. Those animals also need to be fed. And if you can't do that, then you're going to have to decrease the amount that you have quickly.
Bye, Teresa.
If you can't get the food that they need, chickens would be easier. You just set some stones and rocks and barrels around and collect worms a couple times a day. They'll be good. You know, if you can't get chicken feed, you can set, because the worms go underneath.
Well,
So
yeah, you can feed chickens the weeds from your yard. Now, you may want to look up if that weed is okay. I've looked up things on YouTube before and found out it's wild lettuce. So when I see that chunk now, the yard's grown up and hubby hasn't mowed yet. I'll pull that chunk out and throw it in there because I know they can eat that.
yeah, so it's easier because they're smaller, right? And it's easier to feed them.
Yeah, I have 13, so feeding 40 or 50 might be a different story, but 13,
yeah,
you feed them pretty. And then you can eat their eggs too. So,
and that's another reason why we chose Irish Dexter cattle, because they can forage off of trees and stuff. They'll trim up your tree line, and they'll eat a lot of that stuff.
With the choices available to you. So, Miss Heather over here gets to eat beef. I can have chicken and yard birds, yard trash animals. But I'll eat what I have to.
Oh, yeah.
One, number 15. This is going to be a difficult one. How do you feel about the thought of being totally alone?
Yes.
It'd be okay for a little while. It'd be okay for a little while, but it would get old because who would I talk to? Wilson? Would I talk to?
Homesteader Rachel, welcome in. Well, you could just, like, if cell phones didn't work anymore, you can just pretend, hey, how you doing? Have a great day.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? Yeah, that would be difficult. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I do spend a lot of time on myself. I don't believe we have any rabbits around here. Y'all could probably eat rabbits.
I've never seen a rabbit.
I haven't seen it. Plus, we have a fence. Yeah.
Yes. Jennifer, I agree with you 110.
Yeah. The being alone by myself would be difficult. It would be cool for a while, and then it would be like,
okay, let's reverse the question. What if you had to be
crazy.
stuck with a whole bunch of people all the time, 24/7?
That would be harder because they would get on my nerve, probably.
Well, and they're not all going to be the same, not the same.
They're gonna argue. They're gonna argue with each other.
Some of them might be stinky. Some of them might not. Just saying, they might be stinky.
They could be. Well, if the power's not working,
maybe everybody at that stinky.
Heather, you might be the stinky one if you can't take a shower.
I'm gonna be.
You could
Yeah.
Don't be judgy. It could be you, girl.
Oh yeah, totally. But like living with a bunch of people that you've never met before, all of a sudden.
Oh yeah, that would be that. I would prefer to be alone to that scenario.
Right? Learning how all their different how they work and stuff like that. Which I could do, but I would rather not.
Disagreeing. I'm just kind of like I have an idea and I just go do it. I don't like muddle it around and carefully calculate every little piece and go outside with a basket full of things to make it perfect. That's not me. I'm just like, boom, I'm out the door and I'm doing it. However, maybe that means I don't put out as great of a product as someone who probably carefully calculated it. But that's me. I'm let's go. Not let's talk about it for 2 hours. Let's go.
That's how I am. I'm just like, I'm out of here. I'm gonna go do it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna sit and argue about it for 2 hours.
I mean,
talk about it. A rebel.
We can talk about it as we do it. Let's get it done. Yeah. Yeah, I'm that kind of a person too.
I'd like to know what Lori's talking about here. Dead people. I'm sure that's.
I don't know.
I'm trying to figure out what she meant by that. Dead people. I bet I'm really behind on comments because you just said something about I'd rather be alone than around asleep people or liberals. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to be alone.
Every time you start talking, I always forget which one we're on.
Oh, what question? I've been circling them. So number 16, how much water do you have stored right now? You go first on that one.
Lots and lots and lots and lots. We have some bottled water, which is like a backup to the backup to the backup because we prefer not to drink it. We get quite a lot of rain. We have rainwater catchment systems like the blue barrels. We also have like big square, like, I don't know what you call them, IBC totes or something or other. Yeah.
That's probably an area I need some work on is storing more water. That's probably an area where we may need some work there. I'll be honest on that one. We need more water. I do know, I'll tell you one little trick that I did learn on one of a prepping channel, but this is years ago, so I can't quote who it was. But if the world goes crazy and you need water, don't forget you can take your pipes apart and get water from your pipes and from your water heater. There is water in that pipe that you can get out. So don't forget to take your system apart when it stops working and get that water out because that water is still usable. I just thought I'd say that.
Yeah, it's important to maybe map out, and not all maps show all water features that are near you. finding small ponds and creeks and streams and things that are close to you is probably important to know for your plan A, plan B, plan however many plans you have of where you need to go. Find all the water within a certain mile radius all the way around those areas.
Well, if it rains, of course, we got this creek-like thing next to us, you know. There's some containers in the yard that can catch water. I've been wanting to do one of those gutter systems where the rainwater from your gutter goes down into a barrel. That's what I would like to do. That's my list. Number 17, how much food do you have stored right now? I can say that I don't know for sure, but I could live in here. I may not be eating exactly what I want, but I could eat out of this house for a long time.
Depends how many people are home at the time.
If there's a
And I don't know. I don't know if I feel comfortable with answering that, but for a while,
Yeah.
more than 3 weeks.
Oh yeah, definitely more than 3 weeks. Yeah, definitely.
So when I met my husband, the goal was to find
My
property.
my baby pool has zinnias in it. There's no water.
So yeah, you can do canning jars with
I
dried
thought we
food
already
and
answered
water.
this question. How confident are you in your ability to purify water? I thought that we had that question.
No,
Is there a different one?
I think it's do you have water or something like that. This is how
Do
to.
you have the ability to purify your water?
Yes.
I mean, I kind of know some of the techniques for how to purify your own water just from watching survival shows on TV because we like watching things like that. So I know some of those things between YouTube videos and TV shows that we watch. I've watched people purify water in unconventional ways. My bug out bag does have a water purifier in it. So if I have that with me, I can purify water.
Yeah. So I've got several books that have diagrams and instructions on how to make it out of elements, stuff like that. Or you can go online and look and write down and make sure that you have the supplies needed to do that for your plan A, B, C. One is none. How is that? One is none, is two is one. So if you only have one of something, you basically have none. Because if it breaks or gets lost or doesn't work for some reason,
So you should have 3 of everything, basically. Is that
or
what you're saying?
more, right? It depends.
Yeah, well, that's why in my emergency video, I talked about flashlights, solar lights, candles, making a button lamp. You can also make a very cool lamp out of Crisco. People kept commenting, dude, make yours out of Crisco. I'm like, I'm showing you another way. This is just one. Hey, everybody makes theirs out of Crisco. I'm trying to tell you a way to do it. You've already heard that way. If you made that comment on my video, you've already heard how to do that. Gail's job was to teach you another way, right? Everybody has a plate, a quarter, a piece of cloth, a twisty tie, and a match.
Right.
Everybody has that. That is just another way to light your house at night that you didn't know about before today. Yes, you can make a lot of Crisco, but who has Crisco in their house? Maybe you should have some Crisco in your house, but if you don't, you can make a button lamp. That's the comments I got on my video.
Yes.
You make it out of Crisco. I'm like, I'm showing you a new way, a new thing.
And is there things off of trees and stuff like that you can collect? Did you know that in the old days, before they had clocks, they used to take a candle and they'd put nails in the candle at various different things, and whenever the nail fell, they knew to put more wood in the fire. So when the candle would get to the nail mark, the nail would go chink, on the metal plate?
I know they used to have wooden holder things that held their lanterns for when they were in that room. And when they went to bed at night, the last person in the room would take it with them to their bedroom and then blow it out. So can you imagine their houses? There were no night lights, no phones,
I don't
things.
know where I have it.
Their house was seriously dark, like completely dark, except for maybe moonlight.
Out where I am, there's no street lights, so it's dark. But they had these little, it was kind of like a little snuffer on a stick. I don't know if that's the right word, but it was a long stick and it had like a little cup, and that's what you did to put the flame out on like a lot of candles and stuff like that. I have one, a vintage one somewhere.
Yeah, I love the old-fashioned glass lamp that you put the oil in, and you can still buy the oil at Walmart and the lamps. Also, his boss gave us some oil that we can use in that we have stored in the shed, so we can keep refilling that. So button lamp is literally the last thing, but it's there. As long as you have oil in your house, you can make that.
So quickly, Gail, number 19. What's the quickest route and the route least likely to be overtaken or crowded with others to get out of town? Do you know?
I would say any of the routes that are not over the bridge, because one area of our town, nobody knows this because I don't talk about it, but literally you have to cross a lake over a bridge on one area, but there's literally another 2-3 ways out this way. So we wouldn't be going that way toward my hometown. We would have to go one of these other ways. So we literally be any of the other 2 ways besides the bridge, because you're not going to want to cross a bridge in the middle.
Plan A, B, C, D. You need to know your exit.
We need to know a plan. We do need to know a plan, definitely. But I know it's not going to be over the bridge. That's a terrible plan, huh?
Okay, number 20. What are your bug out triggers?
Mine is having to leave my house. I want my 4 walls with my preps and my things and my amount of preparedness that I've done. I want to be here. I don't want to have to leave. I will leave, but that's my trigger. Being alone, totally alone, because I'm not okay with that like some of you. I would be for a while, but not completely. Like there'd be things I need. When it comes time to have to whack the heads off the chickens, I'm not going to be able to do that very well. I'm not going to like that. I'm probably going to be bawling my eyes out and not be able to see, but so that won't be very safe. I'm whacking a chicken's head off while crying. So yeah, I can do it, but it's not going to be my favorite thing.
Right.
I don't.
For me, like being out of state and in someone else's house and not having any prepper skills, especially like when I was in Florida and there was the hurricane and I thought I was going to die. Having none of my things, like nothing, because you can't go on an airplane with a lot of things that you might technically usually have, like a pocket knife or whatever, right? So really all I would have had if the house was just my clothes, and I stayed dressed with my shoes on, ready to go. I don't know where. But yeah, that was hard having nothing.
It was, yeah. We were very nervous for you when you were gone. All of us were, I don't know if you know, but we were very on edge. I know that was in October because I was on the way to Pinecone Fest. And the very beginning, the first day, we were very worried about you. Then we found out you were okay, and I kind of calmed down and tried to have fun. But at the beginning.
But that's hard not having
questions. If any of you guys want the video where he talks about this challenge and you want to do it for yourself, you can email me. I'll send you the video of Bushcraft Families where he has these questions on a link. If you're interested in doing them, let me know, and I'll try to get that video to you so you can get the questions and do it as well.
Yeah, and thank you guys so much for joining us. I hope this opened up some questions for you of some things that maybe you haven't thought of or some things that you want to increase on, right?
Yeah,
It was
right.
fun. So
Yeah, it
go
was.
see
That
Jan.
was so quick because it's like almost an hour. And yeah,
Yeah,
Jan is
kind of
going to be
hurry.
live right now. Go on over to Simply Jan Homestead. She's going to be live for 1 hour.
I
After
agree with that.
her, Rambling with the Brum
Yeah,
Scott is
thanks,
going to
Jan.
go live. And I think about 9 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time, Freedom Redbird, which is Brenda, if you've never met her, goes live. So that is the Friday lineup.
Yes, happy Friday, guys. Thank you so much.
You
And
guys
this
coming
was
in.
fun, Gil.
Yeah, this was fun. This
Yeah,
was Heather's suggestion, and I think it was a good one. It really took up all our time, and I think it's
we could
awesome.
probably start all over from the beginning again and be completely different on our
Yeah.
ideas.
Well, you
Right?
give me a week or two, I'd probably answer the questions differently, but
Yeah,
hopefully this made you think about some things you might need. I know in my case, my problems here, I definitely would consider myself a prepper. But I am lacking in water and fire extinguishers. Just
yeah.
full
And
disclosure, that's where
everybody's at a different level, and it's okay. Just keep growing your skills, keep moving forward.
oh,
It's the
thank
main
you,
thing.
man. Yeah, this is
Yeah,
definitely an interesting one. And we're not saying we have it all together. We're asking you the questions. So hopefully you can go out and try to get more prepared for tomorrow, just in case you're in one of those hurricane areas and don't have power for a while. You can be able to eat and take care of yourself and see at night and all the things. So
yeah, for
hope
sure.
you guys enjoyed this piece of content. If you did, leave us a thumbs up. Go over and check out Simply Jan Homestead, and let's see what she's talking about tonight. Thank you guys for coming in. Bye,
Okay.
everybody. Bye, guys.